Okay, we'll call February 9th, 2026 Williamstown Select Board meeting to order. The first item is to pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item is to set the agenda. Is anybody have anything to add to the agenda or change on it?
We need to add one warrant, and it's gonna be numbered 22180. So we'll have 4 warrants to approve.
You got to add another one of these warrants or the payroll warrant?
Nope, it's a check warrant, not a payroll one.
Okay, you didn't give it to us, did you? Or-
No, I just got it, but I have one to pass around.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just came out today.
It's 22180.
Yep, 22180. It just has one thing on it, it's postage. That we had to buy more postage.
Oh, that's for the town meeting.
Yep.
It's just a warrant for the postage for the town meeting report. Yeah, so that's easily got one, so we'll just set it up here for now. Okay, everybody got a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I make a motion to approve as amended.
I'll second it.
Motion made, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All of you have been here, they got that laminated sheet up on the back shelf there, for how the meetings are run. Is there any select board announcements?
Yes, I'm a firefighter in Williamstown as well, and unfortunately we had a former Chief Bobby McGlynn pass away last week. Just want to mention that he had 30 years in Williamstown in the fire department, and I spoke to the chief earlier, our current chief, and he was fire chief in Williamstown from 85 to 87, and some members of the fire department went to his service the other day, and they were proud to see that he's supported even what happened in his family. Enjoyed having people there to support them.
Yeah, it was good to see you guys there. Anybody else have anything? Any public announcements? Commissioners, committees, trustees, emergency service, report or other announcements? Okay, next item is approval of warrant. Is anybody got to recuse themselves from these?
I have to recuse,
Just payroll,
I have to recuse myself from 22178.
22178?
Yes.
Okay, so we can still do the others, so you're just gonna recuse yourself from that one, so we need a motion to approve SB 22177, SB 22179, and SB 22180. A motion on that?
Make a motion to accept those.
I'll second them.
Motion made, second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now I'll need a motion to approve SB 22178.
I make the motion to approve, as written.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, any discussion on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
And recuse.
Okay. Next item is payroll warrants, 125 and 28. Is there a motion on that? No.
I gotta abstain from 2.8,
28? You
or
do.
not 2.8, the one from 25, sorry.
I also have to recuse from 125.
So you got 125 and you're 128, or 18?
I'm 125 as well.
We're both
Yeah,
125.
we're both 125.
Okay, well. So you get, so both are, you're on both of them, both of you are on both?
No, we're both on 125.
Both on 25.
Oh, 25.
Yeah, so we can't, we
Okay.
have to recuse ourselves from 125.
So, let's do 125 first. Payroll warrant for 125, your motion on that?
Make the motion to approve as written.
I'll second that.
Motion made, seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And now on 2.8, a motion on 2.8.
Make a motion to approve payroll 2-8 as written.
Your second?
I'll second.
Motion's made, seconded. Any discussion on 2.8? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item is approval of select board minutes of 112 and 119. Need a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve minutes from January 12th and January 19th as written.
Your second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
Were you able to get with Mary?
Yes,
and-
yep. So
Yeah.
she emailed, so public knows she emailed me and I did what we learned in high school, just go through and correct some small errors, but no words were changed. Grammar usage mechanics, that's what we did in high school. Gone.
Yeah, I thought I had something wrong, but I missed that. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Town manager report, Ryan?
All right. So we have been randomly audited by the Vermont Department of Public Safety, specifically targeting the town's handling of federal funding awards from both flooding events in 2023 and 2024. The treasurer and I have been working on this with the auditor. So after the audit was concluded, Jen and I were left to address 7 compliance issues, which mostly stem from not having specific wording in our purchasing policy and our conflict of interest policy that specifically covered the handling of federal funds. We also needed to supply a grant management policy and an inventory policy, which are 2 new ones that we'll have to adopt at some point. So I had to submit a draft version of all 4 policies to the auditor, and he has already approved them, should the board decide to adopt them. I've included them in your packet for review, but since there's 4 of them and some of them are quite lengthy, I thought you could just take a look at them in between this meeting and the next one, and we could talk about adopting 1 or 2 or all, depending on how comfortable you feel about those. And if you want to make any changes. Jen and I just need to submit some more financial documents by March 6th, and then the audit requirements will be satisfied. So it'll be easily wrapped up since most of it had to do with rewording some of the policies and adopting new policies that we didn't have. And the wording doesn't apply to everything, but it applies to federal funding. In specific, very specific instances, since we applied for, well, since you guys in the town applied for FEMA funding to help with flood cleanup and all that stuff, it was difficult for the auditor to apply some of the rules he was looking for, but he expected them anyway. It's mostly like a paperwork trail that we were missing as far as our policies go. But we've got it all squared away, and I'll make sure we're in compliance if we get any more federal funding in the future. So it's all a paperwork side kind of thing.
I don't know if you guys had a chance to read that or not, that he put in there, but I went through it and I noticed you had like, in it, $5,000. If it's over 5,000, you had to check with the select board. It used to be $6,000, and after COVID, the prices went up so much, we increased it to $10,000. So I told him just to rearrange that. And I don't know if he found anything else. But like Ryan was saying, that if we're doing like in-house project the town's paying for, that stuff doesn't apply to it. You know, I mean, the general rule as far as conflict of interest stuff does, but that we don't have to go through all the Davis-Bacon stuff and all that. That's just for federal funded contracts. It's a
Just
big,
federal
big-
requires just a mountain more paperwork.
So if you read that, the 5,000, he's gonna change that up to 10, like what we voted on a
Right.
couple of years ago.
I've been tracking down potential funding for the new highway garage. I found a couple of folks who are willing to help me with the project. Pat Moulton from the Vermont Agency of Administration and Mariah Noth from the Vermont Housing and Conservation Board. They'll help me prepare to apply for a USDA Community Facilities Grant if that's the route that we choose to go, which is federal money with a typical 80-20 match on our part. And I will be meeting with both of them in the next couple weeks to come up with a game plan and discuss details. I've also reached out to Black River Design, who did all the engineering and architectural design stuff. And I just wanted to get a little background info from his side of it. So I feel like I'm pretty well versed in the project. Went over everything I could find, and now.
Do they have a maximum amount that they'll grant?
For the USDA facilities grant, we can apply all the way up to 10 million, but I think this project will be around 5, according to what I talked with the guy from Black River Design. Because originally, when he gave the first quote, it was like a little over 4.5 million. So
Yeah.
I would imagine things have increased since then.
I know Berlin's doing one now and they're looking at like 6 million, so.
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk with some of those other towns as well. I reached out to the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission, and I had a short meeting with them, and they suggested we kind of get together with the other towns who have already been on this path for a little while and see what they've come up with too, so. It won't be like it's not money that we'll get this year at all. It'll be a really long process, and we'll probably have to stack a bunch of different grants at this point, because federal funding is pretty much dried up. There's a lot of money out there for like low interest loans and stuff, but there's not as much just grant funding out there. But I'm gonna keep working away at it. And I met with Larry and Dave Wilder and Trini Brassard, who's from V-Trans, to discuss the salt delivery shortage in the state and what we could do to protect ourselves in the future. The idea was created to expand our current salt shed to at least double the capacity so that we could buy salt and stockpile during the off-season when it's a cheaper price. There is a V-Trans grant, it's called the TAP grant, which is Transportation Alternative Program. And there's also this other group called the Northern Borders Group. They have a couple different grant programs. I looked into the Catalyst grant program, but they also have one that deals with construction projects that primarily use different kind of wood, timber and stuff, which might work for that as well. I know a lot of it's gonna be concrete, right, but there'll be some wood in the beams and stuff. So we have a couple ways that we could fund the salt shed. And I'm gonna connect with those guys and figure out the details on that. We'll just have to get some measurements.
Yeah, Dave and I measured it roughly, but I didn't have a ladder with me, so I gotta go back over and
Yeah,
get some elevation. Actually, I'll have to grab Scott and have him go over, because construction parts involved with it too, other than concrete.
yeah, we have measurements, we can put it out to bid and see what it might run us.
Get some numbers together for you to go chase some money.
Yep, but there is money out there for salt sheds, so I feel pretty confident about that.
The situation being is, both last year and this year, there's been a shortage of salt. Towns are having a hard time getting it, and they've been mixing salt with sand just to get by. And you get a load here, to get a load there, but it's no guarantee you're gonna get it. The only reason why we're getting some right now is the state had a stockpile of it. The old Du Bois salt shed there, state filled that up last summer. And they figure they got about, 2,500 ton extra there. So they're let that out to towns. But if we didn't have that, we'd really be struggling, and not just us, but all the towns around the area. So the thought process is if we expanded the existing salt shed, so we could take, well, if we measured the other day, Dave, I measured, the existing one is 38 by long by 20 feet wide. We got room enough to go out 30 feet, so we can get 1.5 times more salt. And the current one holds like 250 ton, and so we'll have capacity for about 650 ton roughly, and the town uses about 800 ton during the winter season, so we'll be in a lot better shape if we can do that, and we'll probably could save up for just $10-15 a ton buying it. This is filling in the summertime, because right now they went from $89 a ton to $120 a
20
ton.
something, yeah.
So it would almost pay for itself, just the savings on the extra on salt. If you had it all in place, then you wouldn't have to worry about running out. So we're looking at that. That's what get some numbers together. If we can get some grant money, we could probably work on getting that done. So we stuck again another year down the road. Steve?
That's a question. You said we use about 800 tons a year,
That's what Dave was saying, yep.
and you're planning on a storage shed that'll hold 650 ton?
The current storage capacity is about 250 ton.
Yeah.
And if we 1.5 times it, we could go about 1.5 times that, and still have room for them to get around the back of it.
Oh, okay, that's why it's only gonna hold that much, okay.
But that,
But I was wondering why you didn't make it, with the price difference, why you didn't make it big enough to take a
yeah,
whole year's supply?
it'd make it too tight between the road that comes out from by the fire station, if
Okay.
they wouldn't be able to get through. But that'll get us a lot better shape. We'll have around 600 ton stockpiled versus 250, so you still get loads, but it could be 2 or 3 weeks between them before you can get one, so. It starts to get down a little bit, they can add a couple more loads early in the winter.
As it works down, get it before it's a crisis.
Right. So that's the thought process behind that. We'll see how it works out, and see what kind of magic Roy can pull off, and go from there.
I've been working with the high school principal and Orange County Sheriff's Office deputy held to come up with a solution to the traffic issues that come when school lets out, the parents line up down Hubert Road. It blocks traffic and creates dangerous situations for other drivers, including the buses who have to go around the line in the opposite lane to get in to pick up their kids. In the short term, I've asked Deputy Held to be present a couple days a week during school dismissal to guide parents into the pickup line in the parking lot, and hopefully create a pattern of proper use of the pickup areas that already exist. So there is enough room within that parking lot. Parents just don't want to go all the way in it, because then they could get stuck there. They want to get their kid and just kind of take off. So they're all parking in the road like 20 minutes before school lets out. And then cars are trying to go in both directions in one lane, and it's creating a lot of, nobody's crashing into each other yet, but it's created a lot of people screaming at each other and all sorts of stuff. And so,
And a lot of kids running back and forth, because I've been in that line.
yeah,
And a lot of kids running back and forth, and it's a miracle someone hasn't got run over yet.
yeah. So when the principal's out there during school let out and he's directing traffic, it works great. Or if Deputy Held is there, everyone's on their best behavior, but other than that, it's pure chaos. And we just need to do it a few times, and hopefully it just starts catching on. So the other thing I was looking at is there's that parcel of land next to the school that used to be UniFirst. And the principal was wondering if there's any feasibility to them using it as like a staging area. So I'm gonna look into that too.
It's all paved, right?
Yeah, it's all paved.
Yeah, it's paved. I don't know how thick the pavement is. I think it's only like a couple inches. They just had to cap over what was there, so nobody.
Yeah,
It may not be. It might be all right for cars, but I don't think you could go anything much heavier than cars on it.
yeah. I thought if the parents could park in there and pick up their kids, that would alleviate some stuff too.
And if they could even, do like a loop or something to get the line off the road.
We own that land, right?
right, Aaron? I think
No, I
Universe
don't think
still
town
owns
ever
it.
took it. I don't know.
Universe still owns them.
Universe, is
I
it?
don't think we ever want to.
Ours?
What's that?
I don't think we ever want to own it.
Wow.
I agree with the gentleman. If anybody gets up there and goes through the surface, they will be in a world of hurt there, because that is still all Universe problem, and it's supposedly gonna be there for another 100 years. And so you don't want to even think about playing with that,
You don't wanna own it.
because all you would wind up with all the contaminants and all that stuff
Yeah,
all over town.
that's why I say I think it's just a skim coat of pavement over it, just to seal it over.
That's all they could put up there so that they could get their own equipment up there to make sure everything was where it's supposed to be and all that stuff. And if you ever break through that and get into the clay cover that's over the perchlorethylene that's still leaching out of there and will forever, there will be all kinds of hell to pay. I heard all about that from the state many times.
Horace used to live across the road from it. They'll probably best let that dog lie.
Yep.
Yeah, and Horace could probably say too, because I went to one of the school board meetings and UniFirst was gonna sell it to the town for $1. Was that-
Right.
Yeah, and the school said no.
The bulk of the demo project.
just a second.
Sorry.
Ellen?
Yeah, when we lived there, we lived in the big white house just before the school. And in the good weather, they had this thing going on with kids. Other kids would be driving their car down the road, and these kids would run and try to jump on the hood. Now, this went on all the time, as soon as like March, you know, when it wasn't freezing out. And, like someone said about going up there and the kids were all over the place. The kids have no respect for the cars either. They go between them, they go where they can't be seen, you know, and if the driver says to them, I didn't even see you, they'll say, oh, shut up, mister. It's my road, I can walk where I want. And this is ridiculous because like someone just said, somebody's gonna get killed. Some kid is gonna get killed because they have no respect for anything.
That's what it's gonna
And it goes on all the time.
There needs to be a sidewalk up through there,
And
and they need to be made to use it.
It's,
It's been that way for years, and I don't know why there isn't a sidewalk. What's
Once
that?
they go off school grounds, you have no, like, you can't tell them what they can
No,
do.
but the sheriff can,
Well,
the deputy
that's
sheriff
true.
can.
That's true.
It needs, it should have had a sidewalk up there from day one, and it never has had, and I don't know why.
Is there a
Maybe
way
somebody
to,
can
There's
tell me
a-
why.
sidewalk study in the works right now for that.
okay.
What's that?
There's a sidewalk grant application in right now to study on that sidewalk for that.
But what
I
I'm
don't
saying
know-
is
I
it
don't
should have
know
been
if-
done when the school was put
I don't know
there.
if it's gonna go through or not, but we've applied for it.
Cool.
We got a fancy
It's only
sidewalk.
40 years too late, but.
Yeah, well, we got a sidewalk going down South Main Street, all the way down.
It gets used a lot too. so
And it
it's
does,
important.
but how come we couldn't put one up by the school at the same time? You know, that don't make any sense to me. You got a bunch of kids up there.
Could you stagger
What?
release times?
I asked him about that too.
Yeah.
And he was gonna kind of look into that, but he didn't sound like that was the thing that he wanted to do.
You could almost hold the walkers
They
that
did
are
it
not
during
being picked
COVID.
up
Yeah.
till everybody else is gone. Or, you know, once the buses leave maybe, I don't know, there should be a way to do that.
Yeah,
That doesn't cost a lot of money.
yeah. Basically, somebody needs to be out there and direct
Yeah,
traffic, is
unfortunately.
basically what it is.
Yeah.
And I don't,
I mean, not shouldn't be just directing traffic. Somebody should be out there further down the road, like where we used to live, and watch these kids that think that, you know, they'll never die.
you know.
Of course,
You know, you put yourself-
I believe about, I wanna say 10, 12 years ago, the town asked for a grant to put the sidewalk up through there, and for whatever reason, apparently did not get it.
Back when I was on Regional Planning Commission, we had the thing all set for money to do sidewalks for the schools, down through by the old folks' homes out there and all that, and all one bundle. And there was a 20% match, and the town declined it.
Yeah.
That was probably 20 years ago, I'd say, so it was a while ago.
And I know the, what is it, the Doniacs?
Zadoniaks.
The Zoniac that bought our house, they've complained a lot about things going on. People peel into their driveway, and they now have cones out there, but they've had an awful time with people not respecting somebody else's property.
I was just in the line the other day, and because you're stuck there, people try to get through. They came up, met another car coming down, and they just backed right into their cones and
Yep.
took off.
Yeah, they've sent me a bunch of videos that are basically just that.
Yeah.
Or people just screaming at each other in their driveway.
It's not only at the high school, the elementary school has the same problem. I live at the bottom of the hill. I have all the people drive through my yard every day.
I was gonna say, I mean, my sons are in elementary school still, and the elementary school has
It's gotten better.
gotten a lot better. I mean, there's basically jersey barriers parallel to the school. And then custodial staff and other teachers come out, and there's probably the line closest to the basketball court is just for the preschool, which is the 2 double-wide classrooms. And then I think there's 3 additional next to it. But basically, everyone kind of gets in, and I mean, it's usually fairly smooth, and it's been growing over the years. I think the jersey barriers, this is the first year they've done those.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those until this recently.
Yeah, and again, just so the town knows, the fire department did a little training up there, and the jersey barriers were not measured initially for a fire truck to go through in case there was an emergency. The town has moved, or the school has moved those, so a fire truck can get in if there was ever a fire alarm. And so things, again, it's a growing process, but maybe the high school's biggest benefit at this point, the easiest solution to start with is getting staff out to help.
Yeah.
Because again, that's how the elementary school does it. Legitimately, they have their traffic vests on and.
High school teachers are a whole different breed, they're not leaving their classrooms with those kids, guaranteed.
Yeah, so I'll keep working on that, because obviously it's not a solved problem, but.
Thank you.
Yep. The bulk of the demo project on Meadow Street is wrapped up for now. Sounds like there would be some landscaping that'll need to be done when the snow is gone. They didn't report any issues, during the project, and the sewer line's all capped, and everything's all marked out, and it should be a nice space.
Yeah, I wanna thank whoever, they did a great job.
Yeah.
Drive by
even
quite a
the
bit, yeah.
smoothing out the side there.
I don't think you'll ever use the sewer for anything, but they may wanna put a yard hydrant out there if they plant any kind of plantings out there. To water them from.
The fire department, so the fire chief came to me with this idea. They wish to split, they have a reserve fund called the Incident Billing Reserve Fund. So they don't charge residents for when they come out to a call, but they charge, like if they have to go up on the interstate or something that's, not like a local thing, they charge a, incident, they give them an incident bill, and that goes into a reserve fund, and they've built that up to about 10 grand at this point. But they want to use that reserve fund in a couple other different ways, and they wanted to know if they could split that reserve into 3 reserves. So they want the original fund still there, and then they want to set up a training facility reserve fund, so they can do some upgrades to their training facility that's out by the dump there. And then they want to set up a firefighter wellness reserve fund for just things to keep them in shape and just little, you know, if they wanna do T-shirts or something, they take it out of the reserve fund. So they propose putting $3,000 into those last two funds and then keep the remainder in the incident billing fund. And they wanna know if they can get the select board's approval to move forward with that.
I'm gonna recuse myself right now.
Yeah. I mean, alternatively, you could just keep it that one fund and tell them they can use that fund for these other things they wanna do. They don't necessarily have to make two, other funds, and it wouldn't be hard to do that either. It's really, I guess, up to you guys, they're looking for approval. And they don't have to have that right now, obviously, it's just something
Somebody
to
just
think
well
about.
put it to bed. I mean, they know better what they need than our select board members do. I think if it sounds like a reasonable proposal to me, I don't know why we just can't vote on it tonight and
Sure.
let them do what they wanna do.
Is that just more efficient for them? I don't really know what the process is, like, if they wanna use that money now, do they have to ask permission, or what's?
So
Shouldn't have to.
they shouldn't have to. He was just concerned about transparency, because it's a fund, and the fund name doesn't specifically kind of spell out what they're supposed to be doing with the funds, it just describes where they get that money from.
Okay.
Basically departmental on.
Yeah, he just wants to be very, very transparent about what he wants to do with the money, and he thought splitting it into these three distinct funds would be the way to do that.
Sounds like the money's all going to that one fund and don't get used very much. This
Yeah.
way they would spread it out so it could be used for different things.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good proposal to me. Do I wanna make a motion on that?
I'll make the motion, we accept it.
I'll second it.
Motion made, seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And then, our current delinquent tax total sits at $281,786. Started to dig into that too, and get that organized, look at all the delinquent tax agreements that we've entered into and how long ago we've entered into them. And I've been doing some, VLCT trainings on the delinquent tax collector position and all the various laws and rules that go into that, 'cause it's kind of complicated. So moving forward with that slowly. And then our delinquent utility total is $41,261. And that's what I got.
Anybody have any questions for the manager? He's doing a fantastic job, by the way.
Yes.
I was just gonna say, because the delinquent tax thing has changed in the state level, right? We used to be able to put out, you know, your property could get purchased through the town, now it's a 2-year, so everyone knows that too.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with us, that is the state of Vermont, so
Yeah.
it's a slower process.
And they've added some other extra rules based on, you know, how much has been paid in, even if it's not the amount you agreed upon, and it's gotten pretty, I mean, it was kind of complicated before, it's very complicated now.
On to new business. That was Dave supposed to come in and tell us what he wanted to do with this thing?
He is supposed to, but he said if he didn't show up, then he didn't get the second quote he was hoping for, so I guess he didn't get that.
So we'll just table that till next week. Okay, we've talked amongst ourselves. We're gonna have a public hearing on the road rehab proposal. There's gonna be a vote by Australian ballot for a proposal we put together to rehab a bunch of the town roads. A bond vote, $1 million bond vote, and we'll explain all that. And also, we're gonna have the public hearing will include the forensic audit, if anybody's got any questions on that. And so we're gonna have that 2 weeks from today on the 23rd at 7 o'clock right here. That'll be the week before town meeting, so people can see it on TV or whatever. Or get any questions,
That'll be here,
be here, yeah.
7 o'clock.
It's 23rd at 7 o'clock. So encourage anyone that has questions to come. And we'll answer them best we can.
I got a question on the, forensic audit. Anyone that handles town money has to be bonded, my understanding. And so if someone is bonded, and if there was anything to do with an audit, would the bonding help cover any of that?
First, you gotta find something wrong. There's nothing,
Yeah, if there is anything wrong, would they cover some of the audit costs?
I don't think so. We voted to expend the money to do the forensic audit, so they might cover whatever, I shouldn't say, see, but whoever, if someone took something, they might cover what that was, but
That's all that would cover it, yeah.
it's up to the town if they wanna go through with this. It's not
Yeah, it's up to
like
town,
somebody stole something from you.
but, yeah.
I will say, both the former auditor of accounts for our town and the current auditor of accounts both said that they don't see any way that she could have taken anything, just by the way our town system is set up. So, that's a fact, that's been stated at 2 different meetings, so, along with the treasurer as well, agrees with them, so. But it's up to people, if they wanna do it, we'll do it, so they're the voting on it, it's out of our hands.
You know, I understand if you have a certain insurance, and I'm not sure just what it is, on your town, for your town, that they will help pay for the audit.
No,
Then,
this audit is nothing the town is forced to do, this is something that the people decide they wanted to do.
yeah,
If someone's, found that someone stole something from town, insurance may cover that, if they can't recover it,
okay.
but this is totally on the town, if they decide they wanna go through this audit, towns can pay in for it,
Yeah,
so.
okay.
If anybody has any questions before that informational meeting, you just give me a call, email me, stop in my office. I can answer any questions you have.
And I just wanna, I believe all the letters are gonna the letters were posted on Facebook for both the road rehab and forensic audit information for the votes. Those are going to get mailed to the public, is that
Yep.
accurate?
And they're on our town website as well.
So, they're there, but.
And the town report.
And
The
there's
town
a
report, okay, but, I'm not saying, I think Cody might be the youngest one here, but I don't have Facebook, I don't do social media, so that was the point of trying to get it to the actual mailing addresses.
Which I think we're trying to do everything we can to get it out there in every avenue that we can.
Yep, and then,
Somebody will still yell at us.
I
and
know,
say,
that's all you can do, you've got it out there, people can look for it. If
and
they don't, then it's.
They're being inserted in town
Somebody will still-
reports,
I didn't see that.
their stuff in the town reports.
And people asked me the question, because when we did the, request for proposal, the town manager gave me the exact number, but we did a initial audit and then a potential forensic audit. What is the initial audit that the contractor said? Because the vote is for 250,000, I do believe.
Yeah,
But what would be the initial audit price?
the preliminary audit,
55,000 and 165,000.
it depends on which company the select board chooses to go with, but yeah.
I thought we'd already chosen the company.
I don't think
We decided
voted
the one
on
that only gave us the full,
Yeah,
Right.
full
we
thing,
just,
and it
we
was
put an amount in that would cover whatever choice you guys made.
Okay.
55,000 and
I thought we did.
another
I thought we just-
165.
I think we kind of said we'd go with the one that actually
Okay.
followed all the,
Yeah, met all the,
yeah.
But you'll still have.
all the things we asked.
Yeah, we still gotta actually like,
Okay, so,
Official decision.
but the point is what I just wanna make sure the public knows, because the letter does not actually state that, and we should have discussed that in part of the letter. But the initial audit would cost approximately what? Just so,
Between 25 and 55.
25 and 55, and then if we went to the full forensic, then that would be the $250,000. So
Well,
the public needs to know that as
The
well.
250 included about 30,000 staff additional
Yeah,
expenses.
yeah.
So it's about 220 for the audit total.
Yeah, and also those were all just estimates too, they could come back to us with whatever they wanted, I guess. when
We
went to sign
spelled
the
it out
contract.
specifically how we wanted it to be bid, and then they came, but only one came back exactly like, the others bid on this, or did bid on that, or.
Yeah, they kind of cherry picked it.
You can't really have one do the initial audit, then have someone else come in behind them and try to do the forensic audit. So it really narrowed it down to one person, but.
Yep.
Rodney?
Just wanna say that when I was on the select board first time, the last was on, I think we were on, and then whatever. Maybe Francis Covey, maybe. It was a period of time when there was a lot of embezzlement happening around the state. So we did a bunch of policies to try to avoid that. And what the auditors have been saying, that they're working. So I think people need to know that too, that we did those policies specifically to.
The former auditors, Jacoboni said that, he even said it, the friends that got it may not even pick it up, you know. I mean, it's gonna cover a lot, but it don't get every nut and bolt. I mean, so I mean, it's totally up to the town if they wanna roll the dice on it. I know the way I'm voting, but I'm gonna keep that to myself. But just want everybody to know that both former and current auditors both feel that it's a waste of time for friends that got it, waste of money. And they don't see any way way our system is set up, that any amount of money, great amount of money, any great amount of money would be detected, certainly. It might be a little small amount but it's not worth that kind of money to go after, but, so that's all I can tell you as far as what we found out so far. The rest of the board heard the same thing I did. So, we'll see what happens. Okay, there's no business around the table, Griffin?
I was just gonna say, I mean, I think everyone in this room is gonna be at town meeting, but encourage others to go to town meeting, because it's a true democracy. Not everyone feels the true democracy like our state does, and everyone's vote counts on the floor, so.
If you don't show up, you can't complain.
Encourage the young people.
And polls open at 10,
Okay, yep. I didn't know that, Mr. Barber.
not 7 AM, 10 AM.
You wouldn't see me at 7, so.
Can't be there, there's absentee ballot.
I missed a couple of meetings, I wanna apologize for that. It seemed like
Yeah,
every
they're
Monday
good.
I had a family thing going on there, but
You did.
that's all behind me now, so I wanna apologize for that, and that's it.
Clayton?
Oh, I'm good, and no need to apologize.
Wow.
You needed, you were where you needed to be.
Yes.
That's it.
Man.
I would like to say one thing. I'm with both Bob McGlynn's funeral service and Scott's mother's funeral service. And both were very well attended, and I was simply amazed at Scott's mother's, the amount of people who were there. That very Elks Auditorium was chock full, and it was just people standing like yards, 100 yards long in line to go up and greet him. And that's just a testament to the long-standing family in town, and all good.
Thank you.
Absentee ballots are available now, so that's for.
Same with Bob's thing there with the fire department, what's coming with all their dress uniforms on, that was,
When you've been in town for your whole life, you might, they have to celebrate you, right?
it's too bad you gotta die for somebody to come see you.
That's the sad part, it is,
Yeah, I
you
know.
know, but.
But anyway, it's all good, everybody, it was a good thing on.
But I will say the fire department was wonderful, we did not expect, I think there were 8 or 9 of them that came, and we did not expect that many, so Tyler was there. And, that part made me cry, because the fire department has always been in his heart.
They looked pretty sharp, all dressed up.
They did, they looked great, they all came in at once, and we go, oh my God. So that was very sweet.
I'll be honest
We
with
would
you,
have been pleased.
I'll be honest with the community, I need to start working out, because it was hard to get into my pants.
That happens.
But I wanna say, I know it wasn't at the funeral, I didn't know her father very well, I knew her mother, because her mother was an elementary, was a not a teacher, but whatever level that was in elementary school, Mrs. McGlynn. But I always saw her father out on the porch and behind Ainsworth Public Library, and
That was-
walking by, we'd wave, and I heard you couldn't find a photo of that, but he was certainly out there
I could not find it anywhere.
relaxing on that porch. It's a nice screened-in porch, and he would always wave to the people that walked by.
He'd wave, if he didn't know you, he'd still wave. Who's that? I don't know.
That's the Vermont thing. I have friends from Massachusetts. I wave to people and they say, "Who's that?" And I don't know.
Right,
We just do it in Vermont.
that was him.
Okay, I guess that's it. Anybody make a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made, second.
Before anything else
All
comes
in
up,
favor?
right?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks everyone for coming.